my golf swing type of thing. So those are considerations and how I can help in that realm.
And I think that's so important because if you don't know kind of why physically you can't do something or how you can improve it, I don't really think you can get to that next step on improving what you aren't great at doing. A lot of times in my line of work, just from the performance side of thing, any injury is often that's bothersome in the swing is often an inhibitor to get to that next step, like I said before. And it just it maximizes kind of what you can't do because it's apparent. So that's a great point, and totally 100% agree. In terms of physical therapy as a whole, the business, the industry as a whole, what about it kind of bothers you, or what would you want to improve as a professional in the industry?
I would say accessibility to services. My biggest inhibitor to giving my patients the care that they need is 80% of the time is financial. And so people will make time to get the care that they need and they want. So time would be a close second. But in terms of insurance complications, that kind of restrictions, that is the biggest limiter. And I'm grateful that I work for a company that understands that and wants to be mindful of that and has avenues in place to help those people remove that barrier. But I would say as a whole, we haven't, as a profession, lobbied for ourselves and marketed ourselves enough to sell ourselves to, the world, patients, to insurance companies and all that. And so I think a lot of times our skills are undervalued, and people aren't willing to pay for something they don't value. So you have to know the value of the care you're providing so that people can justify coming to see you.
It's always about money, isn't it? That's one thing we've definitely seen in the world today. And no, definitely. I think it's like any kind of education, right? When it's not available, you really can't see the value of it. So in your career, what's the biggest accomplishment or the most rewarding moment that you've had thus far? I'll say, I know, you don't think you've accomplished much just because you don't think you've been in it that long. But as far as I'm concerned, schooling still counts in that career. Yeah. But
I would say one of my greatest accomplishments is, sorry, my dog just walked in.
No worries.
Gracie, can you go sit outside? So I had a patient the other day tell me that, they've gone to a few clinics before, and that my attention to detail and how I provided my care is different than others. And that was probably one of the biggest compliments I've received, and probably one of my greatest goals or achievements is I want to be able to provide the best care I possibly can, and never feel as though my patients aren't leaving feeling valued and feeling cared for. And because sometimes the process can be long and drawn out. And so if I can make an impact that, though they're still in pain, they're grateful that that they're coming to see me and that I'm providing care, would probably be the greatest achievement thus far.
Awesome. Yeah, and I know sometimes morale can get diminishing when you're in physical therapy just because you're in pain. So that's definitely something that could be able to look at and look forward to for sure. If you were going to further your education, or if you were going to further your certification process, I know you're pretty high up there with the doctorate degree. What avenues of physical therapy or sports medicine would you venture off into?
I've considered getting my specialization in either sports therapy or orthopedic. So there's certain specializations that, sports certified specialist, orthopedic certified specialist, within the realm of physical therapy that you can go to a residency and get your specialization. And then, and then follow that up with a fellowship in manual therapy. That always kind of been my goal. I feel like manual therapy services are one of the top reasons that differentiates our profession from others. So just being being one of the best providers of that would be probably like my next step if I were to continue down the educational road.
Excellent. Planning on playing any sports this year?
We'll see. Like I said, I live in Hilton Head. I always told myself when I moved here that I either had to learn golf or tennis, and I don't think I'm coordinated enough for tennis. So I've two of my coworkers are currently taking golf lessons, and so makes me. I'm like, I like that's a sport I can maintain throughout my life, and I'm like, I should take it up, maybe. But we'll see. Beach volleyball is always on my list of fun things to try out too.
Definitely, and you definitely have the fair share of beaches down there. So
yeah,
no, that's awesome. We obviously all of us here at MS Golf and all of us listeners that are diehard golf enthusiasts love to hear that. So I would encourage golf, definitely. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
It's a great question.
I always love the answers to these questions.
I hope to still be here and practicing PT, and professionally, I kind of want to keep climbing the ladder and keep getting a bigger client base and name recognition, and I want to be known as one of the best PTs in the area. So I'd say just keep growing and providing great care, and probably within the next 5 years, I probably want to start pursuing my OCS specialization. So
excellent. Love it. Thanks so much for joining us. I had a blast. Cool. Definitely, we're going to keep tabs on you. Definitely look forward to seeing where you venture through your career. And thanks so much again for joining.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Have a great afternoon.
You as well.